So this is how we gonna start it off. Boom! Welcome to the show, episode 32 of SBK. Everybody who in the chat right now, hit that like button for your boy on Facebook, on Instagram. We gonna be on YouTube after the show. I upload it to YouTube. Shout out to everybody who tune in every week. We on episode 32. Came a long way. Still got a long way to go. Still developing the show. Still developing ideas and topics and everything. So I appreciate everybody rocking with your boy. Make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. The link in the bio on Instagram. Tonight's episode 32. Who's the kid said, make sure you turn your other camera on. I already got it on, my boy. Appreciate you. Excuse me. Episode 32 tonight, we talking about fathers, but specifically the shit that's going on between mothers and fathers who not together in a relationship. And I want to find out how y'all feel about how fathers are treated when they not in a relationship with the mama. Y'all made a child together, y'all co-parent together, but men often get the short end of the stick. And sometimes men don't do what they're supposed to do, so rightfully so you get the short end of the stick. But specifically, I'm talking about a topic that came up. Before we get into that, it was two situations that I posted on Instagram. The situation I'm gonna get into first, here we go. So a son and a mama approach this man's house, and the mama talking to the man of the house saying, this man put his hands on her son. So the backstory is her son is boyfriend, girlfriend with this man's daughter. Apparently the man caught his daughter and her son in bed together. I don't know if he snatched them up, threw them out of the house. I don't think it was no real physical situation where he punched on him or, drew blood or nothing like that. It was just a simple fact. He put his hands on him. He grabbed him out of the house, probably cussed him out, dragged him out of the room. The mama show up at the daddy house however many days later, next day, same day, who the fuck knows. But she show up at the man's house and telling him while she pointing her finger in his face, you know how y'all black women do. Don't you ever put your hands on my son. What make you think you could put your hands, she talking to him like this, y'all. What make you think you could put your hands on my son? Don't you ever again in your life put hands on my son. And the man telling her, I caught him in bed with my daughter. They know the rules. They're not supposed to be in no bedroom. They supposed to be in the living room and they in the bed. So damn right I put hands on him. She telling the man that don't give him no right to put hands on her son. I posted a poll on Instagram and I wanted to see what y'all felt about it and what your thoughts was on it. So let me tell y'all what the poll said right quick. So I posted it. We had 75% of the people said. So the question I asked was, no, hold on. Wrong poll, y'all. The question I asked was the man wrong for putting hands on the son? And 70% of y'all said, no, he wasn't wrong. You got to respect people's house. You got to respect people's rules of their house. 30% of y'all said, yeah, he was wrong. Don't touch my child. So this is what I want to say. And I'm linking this to fathers because it was the mama who went over to this man's house, putting her hand in this man's face about touching her child because her child did something wrong in this man's house. A man needs to be involved in that situation. A mama can't go over in that situation because women in that situation, you're not thinking about what's right, what's wrong, what he should have done, what he shouldn't have done. You only thinking about somebody put hands on your child. And I get that. You only think about somebody put hands on your child. So you ready to go off. But that ain't being the best parent, if we being honest. You got to think about your child. That's the same when your children go out here and kill somebody or rob somebody. And the mama is always on the news crying and hooting and hollering about her child is a good child. We get that. We get your child a good child, but you're not seeing logical. You got blinders on when it comes to your child. You're not holding them responsible and accountable. And that's what men for. That's what fathers for. Fathers gonna hold children responsible and accountable, whether it be sons or daughters. Fathers might have a little weak spot for daughters, but they still gonna hold them accountable. they still gonna hold them responsible. They not going over to somebody's house where their child did something wrong and upset with the other parent. That's why fathers have to be involved. And ladies, that's why you have to let fathers be involved. She over at this man's house, putting her hand in this man's face, telling him about touching her child. Never mind the fact your child in the room, in a bedroom with this man's daughter in his house. So when I posted the poll and I posted the video on Instagram, I had at least 3 different women say, well, what about the daughter? What about the daughter? I didn't have all of the men who commented say, yeah, he need his ass whooped. But the women who commented all said, well, what about the daughter? Did he put hands on the daughter? First of all, that ain't what the question was asked. That ain't what the situation entailed. Situation was about this man putting hands on his son. Why are we worrying about the daughter? See, y'all won't find any type of way to wiggle in your child being right or it not being an equal opportunity of discipline. That's his child. That's his child. He gonna handle his child. But your child in my house, that's totally disrespectful. Your child in my house not following my rules, that's worse than my child in my house not following my rules. I don't know if that makes sense to y'all. I'm gonna say it again. My child in my house not following my rules is not as bad as your child in my house not following rules. My child live here. You a guest in my house. You a guest. That means you have to be respectful at all times. At all times, you got to be respectful when you a guest anywhere. And that's what daddies and fathers have to teach their children. Even when they feelings hurt. Even when they feel like the world against them, you got to, as a man, as a father, you going to tell your child, hey, you put yourself in this situation. You ain't respect the rules and regulations of this place. You was a guest somewhere. You didn't respect that. VB to really say, and that's why some men have a hard time accepting accountability. Exactly. So I'm going to get into that. I'm going to roll all that in together. That's a good comment. Mike P on Facebook said he agrees. Shout out Mike P. If you're on Facebook, hit that like button for your boy. Instagram, hit that like button. When you in somebody's house, I don't care what his daughter's saying. I don't care if his daughter was the one who pulled him in the room or gave him the idea to go in the bedroom. This is not my house. I got to be respectful of your daddy. I got to be respectful of your mama. That's the responsibility of men. Even before fatherhood, even before, as a man, you got to be able to stand up to a woman, another friend, or whoever. That's what being a man is. I got to be respectful of this man's house. I can't go in your bedroom with you. Your daddy said we ain't supposed to go in there. No, we ain't doing that. If she was the one doing it. If she was the one egging him on to do that. If he was the one who was egging her on to do it, he definitely deserved to get hands put on. Now, I ain't saying you beat the little man up. The kid looked like he might have been 16, 17. You don't beat him up. You don't smack him around. But if I'm going to grab you by your collar, nigga, I'm going to pull you up out this bed. I'm going to pull you up out this room. Because I told you, don't be in this room with my daughter. And the reason why it's so detrimental and it's so disrespectful is because I opened up this space to you. I opened up this space and I gave you room on the leash and trusted you to do what I asked you to do. This is not your house. This is my house. And I'm giving you range of my house with certain limitations. And I expect you to abide by that and respect that. This ain't about the daughter. So to the ladies who ask me, well, what about the daughter? What he did to this ain't about the daughter. No way, no how. And if that's what you're focusing on, you need to rewire your thinking. You need to rewire your thinking. And for her to come over to this man's house after she evidently, I don't know if she knew what her son did, but even getting there, finding out that her son was in this man's house, in their bedroom with his child, with his daughter in the bed, she still doubled down and said, that don't give you right. At that point, if you're going to be a good parent, that's going to hold your child responsible and accountable. At that point, when you find out that's what he did, if you didn't know, that was your turn to turn. That was your time to turn to him and say, is that what you did? Was you in this man's house in a bed with his daughter? That was your time to put hands on that nigga. It was your time to put hands on the nigga. That's what a daddy would have did. And guess what? In this scenario, if the daddy had gone over there, found out about it, found out that's what his son did, and his daddy agreed with the man of the house and agreed that his son ain't had no business in bed and agreed that he deserved to get his ass pulled up out of there and roughed up, you know what would have happened with that daddy and the mama? She would have been upset with him. They would have had conflict now because she still feel like nobody should put hands on her son. She's still not holding her son accountable. So now you're not allowing the father to be a father, to teach him a life lesson, because this ain't the only time this gonna happen. No matter where you at, on somebody's job, at somebody's house, at somebody's event, just as a human being in society, we need these lessons. And that's what fathers are there for. And women, you gotta let them do that. I know it hurt your heart. I know it hurt your heart for somebody to grab your baby. It hurt your heart for the man to be loud and cuss at your child. It hurt your heart to see him get whippings. It hurt your heart to see him punished. But they gotta have that. Because if you don't get punished now as a child, they're gonna get punished later as an adult. It can't always be, come run to mama. Especially when you wrong. You can't come run to mama when you wrong. And mamas, if you got men in the child life that's a daddy, a father, and they come run to you, you need to redirect them to your daddy. Go talk to your daddy. Because you might not be capable of disciplining them and holding them accountable and responsible, but send them over to his daddy who's going to be what you can't be. Used to kids say, mama telling you not to do something is different than dad telling you something. Let me tell you, my boy, right now, my daughter's 7 and 4. My wife could hoop and holler and tell these girls what not to do 50 times. I could sit there and hear her telling them 50 times. All I got to do is get up and come out the room where I'm at and say, hey, what your mama said or what you supposed to be doing. And it's going to get done. I don't know why that is. I don't know if I know why, because it's nature. It's nature. That's the way it's meant to be. That's why you need fathers. And it was always a narrative that boys need their daddies. A woman can't teach a boy how to be a man. But girls need their daddies too. They need that same discipline instilled in them as boys do. They need that same guidance instilled in them as boys do. So just as important as a daddy is to a son, a daddy is just as important to a daughter too. And that's what this man was trying to be at his house with his daughter, and your knucklehead son not listening to him, going in the bedroom with him, and then you coming over knocking on my house, on my door, waving me a hand in my fucking face, telling me about touching your child who don't listen to the rules in my house. Mike P on Facebook said, and it will be hard on them once it's too late. Exactly. You got to learn these lessons early and often, so you ain't got to deal with them when you a big adult facing real consequences. VB the realist said the daughter should have enough respect for herself. Yes, I agree with you. But once again, this scenario is not about the daughter. This scenario is about this boy mama coming to this man's house upset because he put hands on her child for being in the bed with his daughter in his house. So the 30% that said he ain't got no business putting hands on your child, tell me what's the lesson learned here? If you come over here and take up for your child for doing wrong, what lesson they learned? What you taught them? What you taught them? You taught them you could do wrong, get some consequence, but mama gonna always be there to bail you out and think you right. That's why you need fathers. And that's why this episode is about fathers. Everybody who said he was in the right and deserved to get his ass snatched up out of that bed and out of that house, I agree with you 100%. You're 100% right. You're 100% right. Ladies, you got to let men be daddies. You got to let these kids get disciplined. You got to let them get their feelings hurt. You got to let them get punished. You got to let them get whippings. You got to let them get their ass beat sometime. Moving on. So the other situation that I posted on the Instagram, this one was kind of, it's more difficult than this last situation. But y'all still be wrong. But Snoopy knowing, so I'm gonna let y'all know. So the situation was this man went to go pick his child up from school. He get there to pick his child up from school and they tell him, you're not on the list. You're no longer on the list to be able to pick your child up from school. You need to contact the mama about picking his child up from school. The mama didn't tell him he wasn't on the list no more. She didn't tell him she was taking him off the list. She didn't tell him he wasn't on the list. And then when he called her and confronted her about it, she told him, hey, you got to earn that. You got to earn that. You need to communicate with me. You need to talk to me about it. So when I posted this on Instagram, the question I asked was, what I said was they both wrong. And I'm going to tell you why they both wrong. But then I asked who was more wrong. Oh, I said who was wronger. Who was wronger? That ain't a word, but that's what I said. Who was more wrong in the situation? Was he wrong for just popping up at the school and picking the child up and not communicating like she said? Or was she wrong for taking him off the the pickup list and letting him show up and finding out that way that he can't get his child? So 75% of y'all said she was wrong. She was more wrong. And 25% of y'all said he was wrong. But the answer is both of them motherfuckers wrong. Both of them motherfuckers wrong. And I'm going to tell you why both of them motherfuckers wrong. And it's stupid. It's stupid. Now, as a father, you should always be able to go pick your child up from school. You should never have it be a situation where you remove from a list. I mean, if you doing what's right, if you trying to be a father, you should never have a situation where you removed off the pickup list. And not only are you removed, you ain't told that you removed. That's number one. That should never happen. But at the same time, you can't just pop up and go pick a child up from school, your child from school, and not let nobody know that you going to pick the child up for school. What if the mama was coming to pick the child up? Then she get there and the child already picked up. So she done wasted time going to the school to pick the child up. And you don't want to pick the child up. You ain't call and say, hey, I'm going to pick up little Ray Ray today. Or can I pick up little Ray Ray today? And you know why? You know what's going on? And this is what happened in a lot of y'all situations. Y'all need to cut the petty shit out. Both of y'all being fucking petty. Petty, 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 petty. Cut the bullshit. Nigga, you being petty going to pick the child up from school and not letting her know that you going to pick the child up from school. Because your thought is you know she going to get to school to go get the child and he going to already be gone. And that's how you want her to find out. You being petty. When you easily could have said, hey, I'm going to pick him up from school today. You ain't got to do it. Or do you need me to pick him up? Or can I pick him up? You got plans today. You could have easily did that. But you wanted to be petty. You wanted to go get him and let her show up at the school and he not be there. You was petty. That dude Crawford say the mother is wrong for not communicating that with the father. The father is wrong for not communicating with the mother. Exactly. Exactly. So you was being petty. She was being petty because obviously before he even got there to pick the child up, you had to took the man off the list. So that's why she more wrong, because she had already predetermined this. She had already did this. She had already determined, I'm going to do this, and one day he going to go pick him up, and he ain't going to be on the list, and that's how you going to find out he ain't on the list. You did that shit on purpose. You being petty. And it just so happened this was the day it happened. So you had already took him off the list. You ain't telling man you taking him off the list. That was petty on your behalf. And obviously you did it first. So she get the more petty award. She get the wronger award. She was definitely wronger. Marvin on Facebook says she got to die for that. Comment on Facebook said they both wrong. Yeah, they both wrong. And Marvin, let me tell you on Facebook, I feel what you saying on that. Not that she got to die. Nobody's going to be dying. Nobody doing none of that. But I feel you with that because I would be pissed had I gone to pick my child up. It's one thing if I gone to pick him up and you had already got him. Cool. But I go there and you to remove my name off the list like I'm not his daddy. Whether I communicated with you or not about picking him up, you had already took me off the fucking list. You must be out your goddamn mind. That's our child, my child, and you gonna take me off the list of people that's able to pick him up from school and you didn't tell me about it? But you know you couldn't tell me about it because it was going to be a problem. That's too fucking petty. Y'all cause so much friction in so many situations in y'all co-parenting that you don't even have to do just by trying to have a one-up on the next person. She wanted to do that so he could find out and then he could feel played that she did that. He went to go pick the child up so he could get there first, and then when she get there, he ain't there and she could feel played about that. Man, what that shit worked to y'all? Now, both of y'all pissed off. You pissed off because you done went there to pick this nigga up and he ain't there. And you done find out your name ain't on the list. You played yourself. She pissed off because you calling her phone talking crazy and y'all want to be arguing and all this dumb shit? Like, who want to deal with that? Marvin on Facebook said, meaning why create the narrative like I'm bringing home or I'm not his father to my child? Exactly. You got to think, see, y'all don't think nothing outside of being petty and hurting the next person. That's all you trying to do. You just trying to hurt the next person. You not even thinking about how that looked at the school. You done took his father off the list at the school and the father showing up to pick up the child, not a school looking at this man crazy. But that's what you won't do. So maybe you did think about it. You want him to look crazy. You want him to feel stupid. You want him to look like he a potential risk or something. Grow up. What's that worth to you? What's it worth to you if you got a man that's trying to go pick the child up for school? You know how many motherfuckers don't even have communication with their children at all? Who ain't never going to pick their child up from school? You got somebody who willing to try to go pick the child up from school, albeit he being petty in this moment. But I assume it's not the first time you picked the child up from school because he was on the list already. But you willing to ruin that. A good father who there to pick the child up from school so you could prove a point. You got to stop. Y'all got to stop this petty shit. Jay Nash on Instagram say nothing to be playing with. They're already looking at us crazy at them schools. I mean, come on, man. Why would you want to remove a father from a list of picking his child up from school? That makes no sense. You looking at it as you hurting the father, and he looking at it as he hurting the mama. You playing her, she playing you, y'all making each other feel stupid, look stupid. What about the child, though? What about the child? Do y'all ever stop and think how that affect the child? Now, you done took his daddy off the list, so his daddy can't never come pick him up? Grow up. Grow the fuck up. Y'all children with children. Get out of your emotions. Get out of your feelings. You got to let that shit roll off your back. He pissed you off today. Your child is not a way to get back at him. He pissed you off. He talked to you crazy, cursing y'all. I'm going to fix his ass. Next time he go pick Junior up, he gonna have something for him. I'm going to have something for his ass. He going to get to that school. His name ain't going to be on that list. He going to be looking stupid. You done took out your own frustration and your own personal shit with this man and added the child in the mix. Grow up. That's petty as fuck. That's childish as fuck. That's ignorant as fuck. And you ain't set no good example for your child. To the man, nigga, if you going to pick the child up from school, call her and let her know you going to pick the child up for school. Why the fuck would you go all the way to the school, pick this child up, and know she going to do the same thing and get there and the child ain't going to be at school? You being petty as fuck too, nigga. You trying to find a way to hurt her too. That ain't even manly. That ain't even manly, my nigga. You gotta let that shit roll off your back. She done pissed you off. She did this, she did that. She talking to you crazy. So I'm gonna go to the school and pick Junior up first and make her go make a blank trip. My nigga, you got to know that's not a battle you gonna win. You got to know that's not a battle you gonna win. Y'all men be wanting to fight with these women about the children. You got to let some of that shit ride because y'all ain't going to win them battles. No matter how wrong they is, you got to know your position in the world, nigga. You not going to win that battle when it comes to child care. Move accordingly, my nigga. Swallow some of that shit. Pause. Let some of that shit roll off your back, my nigga. Ignore. Let me tell you something, fellas. Women love to get a rise out of you. They want to see a reaction from you. They want to see your blood boiling and you can't do nothing about it. They love that. They love that shit, nigga. That shit give them a hard on, nigga. Yeah, look at him pissed off. He mad. Ignore that shit, my nigga. Keep moving, keep doing what you're doing, keep being a father, keep showing up, communicate. Piss off, kill her with kindness, my nigga. I'm telling you, that's gonna piss her off way more than you doing the petty shit. You killing her with kindness and being super responsible and being super productive in your child life and super on time, that's gonna piss her off more than any of the petty shit that you could think about doing. If she hates you, nigga, and she want any reason to fuck over you and you just keep doing what you're supposed to do, you gonna win, nigga. You gonna win. She gonna be fuming. Fucking steam gonna be coming from her fucking bonnet, nigga. Just do what you're supposed to do. Let me get into a couple of these comments. Yo, girl, I had say shit. I miss what you said shit to my boy. Elaborate. Nola Native say when she do that, call the hospital and tell her she escaped the psych ward. See, that's more petty shit. Y'all gotta stop that. Marvin on Facebook said, but as a man, you gotta have your ducks in a row. You need to be 100% a part of the child's life. You have to be present. Agreed, my boy. Because he said, because if we being honest, they have a bunch of haircut tennis shoe fathers who don't know what's going on. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Be there. Be present. Be 100% present. Do what you're supposed to do. I'm telling you, if you won't be petty, if you won't piss her off, if you want her mad, show up, nigga. They got something going on at the school that she ain't tell you about, show up, nigga. You ain't got to. As a matter of fact, I was about to say you ain't got to speak to her, but speak to her. Hey, how you doing? I'm just here for Junior. It's going to piss her off. It's going to drive her crazy, nigga. He got early release from school. You find out, you know about, hey, I could pick him up today. I'm around there right now. Hey, I'm by school right now. I'm going to be around there same time he getting out. You ain't even got to worry about it. I'm going to get him. Piss her off. Now, I ain't saying it's going to always flow right. I ain't saying she going to always let it ride. But I'm telling you, you stay consistent with that, you going to win more times than not than being petty and putting your child in a bad predicament and having a school looking at you and looking at her crazy. Jay Nash said not doing all that arguing. Yeah, I mean, a lot of shit don't have to be arguments. Nola Nader said, why not? Lesson would be learned. Would the lesson be learned, or would it just be tit for tat? And see, that's the problem with a lot of these co-parenting. It's all tit for tat. Loose booted dolphin, where you been at, girl? Ain't seen you in the chat in a long time. This was a chat favorite, y'all. She got the best screen name probably ever. Loose booted dolphin. She said, what's the topic today? The topic today is fathers. The importance of fathers and how fathers are treated in co-parenting relationships. The things that go on in co-parenting relationships that fathers are needed for and how they treated when they try to be a father. And that's the whole thing. And so to go back to, who was it? Who had the good comment? Let me scroll back up. I don't want to get nothing wrong. Hold on. Shelly said, that's going back to knowing who you have kids with. You should never let your child suffer from your outside shit, period. Agreed, my girl. Agreed. Let me go back. Somebody here made a good comment. I couldn't remember what it was. What she said. I think it was on the other topic. Oh, she said, and that's why men have a hard time accepting accountability. And then she said, fathers are the most important aspect of a boy's development. Once again, not just boys. See, we all think fathers just fundamentally important for boys' development. They fundamentally important for girls' development. They fundamentally important for children development, period. Not saying that women not. Not saying women not. But women, fathers give an aspect that women can't when it comes to raising children. How I see it. Fathers give an element and different things that women can't give. A father could pretty much give the same thing a woman could give. And don't jump down my throat about it. I'm just freestyling right now. I'm spitballing right now. Don't get your panties in a bunch. What I mean by that is a woman is known for her nurturing, her caring. A man could do that. But a woman can't never really be that firm disciplinarian. She could try. She could try. But after a while, it's going to fall on deaf ears. The older they get, there's only so much a mama could do. And it's no fault to a woman. It's no fault to the mama. That's human. That's nature. That's the way God intended it to be. That's the whole point of a father. That's the whole point of a male presence. So like VB said, that's why some men have hard time taking accepting accountability. In the first scenario where the mama just come to your rescue for everything, and you not letting the daddy be the daddy, letting the father be the father, and discipline, that boy gonna grow up and he ain't gonna have no accountability. He ain't gonna have no discipline because you ain't allow him to have it. You just wanted to cuddle him and hug him and kiss his face and jump on anybody who got on his case when he did wrong. You gotta allow the daddy to be a daddy. You gotta let a man be a man with these children, ladies. They let y'all be, men let women be mamas to the children. We can't stop y'all. We can't stop you from babying these children. We couldn't stop you if we tried. But the problem is y'all do stop men from doing what needs to be done. And like she said, that's going to lead to men having a hard time accepting accountability and not fully develop as a man. You know, you see all the shit that go on in the world with all these children and stuff. They ain't got no daddies. I promise you they ain't got no present daddy to sit their ass down and sit them straight. Marvin on Facebook say, who named Loose Booty Dolphin? She on Instagram, my boy. D on Facebook, what's going on? Shout out to everybody who joined in the chats right now on Facebook, joining the chats on Instagram. This episode 32 of SBK, we talking about fathers and fathers being allowed to be fathers. It ain't always pretty. It ain't always sweet. It ain't always nice. You ain't gonna always like how a man have to handle these children, but you gotta let them. You gotta let them. Let me scroll down. Let me see what's going on in the comments. No, the native say you ain't gotta say nothing. Just appear and disappear. I don't know what she talking about. I missed that. Loose Booty Dolphin say I'm the disciplinarian in my co-parenting relationship, but we agree that I'm better at it. So that's that. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me that a man feel like the woman is a better disciplinarian. Now, don't get me wrong. Hear me out. And you probably think you the disciplinarian. And he probably let you think that. And what I mean by that is on a day-to-day, you get in the child ass. They ain't doing something, you hooping and hollering. You ready to whoop them every day to day. That's what you do. Probably 3, 4, 5 times a day. So to you think you the disciplinarian. But that ain't the case. Because you got to keep doing that. You ain't really disciplined. Hear me out. I'm not coming at you. I'm not attacking you. I'm just telling you, if you got to keep saying something 2, 3, 4, 5 times, you ain't the disciplinarian. You trying. Ladies, you try to be the disciplinarian. I know a few women who be like, oh, my husband, he don't do nothing. I'm the one who got to tell the children. Yeah, you tell them children shit 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day. They not listening to you. You eventually get them to listen because you hooping and hollering and threaten them. How many times you threaten them a day? When that man step in one time, after you've been doing all the hollering and fussing and upset and screaming and I'm going to whoop your butt and get your behind down and you better, after you'd have done all that 3, 4, 5 times a day, that man step in one time and say what's what. Say what better get done. Say you better listen to your mama. Say you better, and then it's done. That's the disciplinarian. Y'all get it twisted. You think because you applying the pressure nonstop, that make you the disciplinarian. You're not. Them children ain't listening to you. They might be scared of you sometimes because you go crazy and you hollering and screaming and you pulling the belt to their ass. But who step in that one time and say something and it's done? Ain't no arguing, ain't no back talk, ain't no attitude. And if it's attitude, hey, you got an attitude about it? And that's it. So ladies, I know y'all like to think y'all the disciplinarian and y'all get, my husband don't do it, he let me do it. You're not really. You're not really. That man gonna step in one time and do what you couldn't do in the 5 tries you've been trying it with little Ray Ray. I'm Queen Nita say sometimes it's hard, Snoop. What's hard, baby? She said, I gotta do better. What, letting the old Protestant, you saying is hard to let the daddy do what the daddy's supposed to do. And I know, and that's what I said. And I understand it. I ain't judging nobody because that's what a woman is. You nurturing, you protecting. I understand that. That's your nature. That's what you're supposed to be. But when you got a man, when you got a father, you also supposed to step back and let him do what his job is. He can't do his job if you want to overpower the situation. You gotta let him do his job too. TJ Cole say, I don't have no issues when it comes to how my daughter's dad handles anything when it comes to the kid. Definitely gonna let him be a daddy. You gotta let him be a daddy. TJ Cole say, facts though. Daddy only gotta say something once. Yeah. It ain't even, I don't even know how it happened. I don't know how it happened, why it happened, but it's just the nature of women and men and parenthood, motherhood, fatherhood. That's just the way it operates. Queen Nita said, you ain't never lying. Loose Booty Dolphin say she back, she at work. I appreciate you joining in while you at work. You catch up on this is going to be posted on YouTube, y'all. After every episode, I post a live on YouTube. But like TJ Cole said, daddy only got to say something once. So women, don't get that confused thinking you the disciplinarian. I'm not trying to shit on y'all. I'm not trying to tell y'all not disciplining y'all children. Y'all are. But when it comes to being the disciplinarian, you got to hoot and holler and scream and fight and fuss with these kids all day and all night. Daddy come home from work, walk in that room. Hey, y'all better go in there and do what your mama say do. Y'all better get this room clean. Y'all better, and it's done. And guess what the women do after that? Guess what the mamas do after that? They go in there and baby the babies. Oh, you okay? Yeah. That's what y'all do. After, and that's the dynamic. That's how it's supposed to be. Let him do what he got to do to get the job done, and then you could come behind him and baby him and and give him that affection after the fact. But you got to let him do what he have to do. Shout out my dog Sham on Facebook. He said he at work too. Shout out to everybody on the clock tuning in to SBK episode 32. We talking about fathers, the importance of fathers, the importance of letting fathers be fathers. Shout out to all the ladies in the thread, in the chat who discipline their kids too. But I just need y'all to understand that that's not your role. That's not your true position. You could do it. It's harder for y'all to do. So just allow the man to do it. And on that, I'm going to get out of here tonight, y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. I hope y'all take what I say and put some thought into it. You know what I'm saying? Let the men do what they supposed to do. Stop being petty with each other. Stop having fights with your co-parent. You want to hurt them by doing something that's going to affect the child. It's not worth it. Men, be men. Sometimes you got to ignore these women. That's your best out. Sometimes you got to ignore these women. Sometimes they just want to get a little rise out of you. Ladies, you could admit it. We know. Sometimes they just want to get a rise out of you. And if you keep giving them a rise, they're going to keep doing it. Appreciate y'all tonight, man. We'll be back next week. I'm thinking about adding a phone line to have people call in, because I used to have people join in on the live. People that won't show their face. Nobody won't be seen. Their hair ain't done. Their makeup ain't done. Their lashes ain't on. They ain't got no lipstick. Whatever the case. So I'm thinking about opening the telephone line so y'all can call in and say and voice what you got to say. Just like a few people left comments tonight. Sometimes you need to elaborate on that. So I'm going to think about opening up a phone line on the next episode, 33 SBK. But until then, y'all have a safe week. Appreciate y'all. Go Lakers tonight. Appreciate everybody who told me and my wife happy anniversary. 8 long years, y'all. It ain't easy. Hopefully it get easy as you get older, as these children get older, and as my wife let me discipline the children and she stopped trying to jump in. You know what I'm saying. Appreciate y'all, man. Good night. Stay safe.